Good evening, everybody. It's Elizabeth Diamond, your host tonight on the Diamonds Forever 3113 show. Diamonds Forever, that's you. And 31, rawr, that's you again, the lion taking dominion with love, conquering all. With love to you, through you, and out of you, for the highest good of all concerned, every situation you have. And 13, Christ consciousness, your supernatural natural self, here on the Diamonds Network. So tonight is June 2016. I don't know the day. I know it's Monday. What day is it? Whatever day it is.
13. It's June 13.
Oh, it's June 13. There we go. That Christ consciousness.
Absolutely.
Our supernatural, natural self. We're going to be learning about that. We're going to have surprises abound on the Diamonds Network, like always, and we flow with the waves. We stand on, not in and out, not tumbling around. We're on the wave flowing. So, well, I got a strategy for a little part tonight. We're going to do a little part. This is what I get, Cynthia. See, this is what I get, everybody, for calling in, asking the angels when they read the angels' messages here on the Diamond Show. I say, come on to me, angels. Give me wisdom, knowledge, strategy, understanding. Wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and strategy. Guess what I got? I got a strategy for tonight. Thank you, angels. So we're going to do a little part. It's in our part of galactizing. And surprise for you, everybody's going to participate. So we'll say that for a little bit later. So Benjamin Fulford's is not up yet. It will be on the blog as soon as it is. Probably be tomorrow or late tonight when Ben puts that up. And the blog is diamonds with an S forever 31.blogspot.com. And also the YouTube channels are on the right side of the blog, both YouTube channels. And we've been a little slow putting up shows lately. That's okay. It's summertime and people are enjoying. We all need a rest. So hang in there. And if you ever want to listen to a show, if you don't want to wait till it gets up on the YouTube, you can always call the recorded line, which that number is on top of the blog. It's 641-715-3813. And the PIN number, 883267#. And then I'll ask for the reference number. The last show is always #. And we're on like 442 show. I think this is 443 tonight. So you kind of can guess. Or call me if you want to listen to it. I can give you the link. And I want to give my number out anyway. So here's Elizabeth Diamond's number. You can call me anytime for anything. Questions, concerns, comments, or you just want a good laugh. We laugh. I like to laugh. So my number is 763-670-9120. That's 763-670-9120. All right. So we got Candy Shop Jar News. That's going to be after Cynthia. Cynthia and Mayor will be on tonight. And we're going to catch up with what's coming in of the energies through astrology, and we can use that as tools for us to grow and heal. Basically, in the nutshell, the root of it all is learn to love yourself, and your whole world will create right in front of you with your dreams come true. Literally, our thoughts and our imaginations create our world individually and together. So with that, let's see. Misty was going to read a card. She has these awesome tarot cards, and we wanted to just, on purpose, pick a card for all of us that are listening live, and even it'll count if people listen to it on the recording line or on YouTube when it's up, because there's no distance in time. We are supernatural, and we're naturally coming to that as we evolve through this time. But first, let me pray the law of one. I'll call everybody in. And you guys, when you do this at home, you don't have to call people in, or you can call things in as your heart flows, or just say the law of one. In every situation in your life, and every thought in your life, I'm telling you, your life just changes around. And Cynthia teaches about that. We teach about the law of one. We set things at the highest good of all concerned. So here we go. I call in the living flame of divine love. I call in the 360 angels that are assigned to each degree around the earth, who Cynthia has introduced us to. We read their messages every week. Thank you, angels. We call in all our brothers and sisters galactic-wise in every time, space, and dimension here on earth and in this universe. We thank you for coming. We call in a spiritual court of equity of each of our ancestors to help us. We call in our higher selves, our mental, spiritual, physical, and emotional selves. And we thank you all for coming tonight. We call the galactics that want to galactize with us tonight, that have any messages in us, through us, to us. And we thank you for coming. And anybody else that is lonely for love tonight, even those that don't know love and never have experienced love, we call you into the circle tonight, and we give you a big hug and kisses, and we set you at the highest good of all concerned, and let that love flow through you, because we are all one. So I'll give it to Cynthia to say the law of one prayer, and just say it along with her. We won't undo. You can come in. You can star 6 if you want to repeat after Cynthia. The room is open. Cynthia?
Yeah, thank you. Just for new timers, it's really important that we have structure. And a lot of times a law is considered a structure. A law says what we can do, and it generally is for the overall good. It's put there purposely for the overall good. And in the ancient teachings and in previous calls, I've told how I learned this, but it's the original law of creation. In all worlds and all dimensions and all realities, there's an original law. And all other laws come from it, whether they're civil laws or social laws. And when you invoke this law, it overrides all other laws. And so, therefore, I strongly recommend everybody memorize this law, because as a human being, regardless of who you think you are, regardless of what you've been taught, as a human being, you are the main switchboard. You are the operating mechanism beyond what any robot could ever do or artificial intelligence could ever do, because we have souls and we have spirits. And the souls operate, if you can imagine a Star of David, the Magan David, the six-pointed star, you have a pyramid pointing up and a pyramid pointing down. Well, the pyramid pointing down is the soul, and the pyramid pointing up is the spirit. The pyramid pointing up is electric, and the pyramid pointing down is magnetic. And even though the symbol is flat, it's actually a three-dimensional and interdimensional configuration of sacred geometry, and we contain all that. They can make robots that look like us. They can make robots that can mimic our beta brainwave function of the left brain, which is linear logic, which knows the past and can extrapolate that in algorithms to the future. But they can't build in, they're working on the right brain, but even if they get that one right, which is intuitive, they can't build in the heart. And the heart is the heart of the matter. So what I'm saying to you is I would ask each and every person listening to this to willingly suspend all belief or disbelief and just for the sake of whatever, take a moment and do the law of one whenever you are concerned about anything. Whether you're concerned about something that happened in the past or may happen in the future, or is going on now, or is going on with you, or maybe going on out there somewhere, whatever. Just say the law of one, and it will automatically download into the quantum field and activate basic memory codes in the matrix of creation. So I'm going to say the law of one in its simple form, line by line, very simple. You need to write it down, you need to memorize it, and use it. And the old common sense commentary I always make on this thing is, use it, see what happens. If it doesn't work, you don't need it. If it does work, keep using it. And it goes like this. And I'm going to say a line, and then if you want to hit *6 and unmute, you can say it with me. After me, I'll just say it, and then that'll help the new people memorize it as well, because they'll hear each line twice. We are all one.
We are all one.
When one is harmed, all are harmed.
When one is harmed, all are harmed. Somebody take your phone off speakerphone, please. Go ahead.
Yeah, we're getting some feedback. Thank you. When one is helped, all are helped.
When one is helped,
all are helped.
Therefore, in the name of who I am.
Therefore, in the name of who I am.
And I am one with all there is.
And
I am one with all there is.
I ask that only the highest good.
I ask that only the highest good
of all concerned.
Of all concerned. Happen.
And I give thanks that this is done.
And I give thanks that this is done.
So be it, and so it is.
So be it, and so it is. And I expand the law of one to the Diamond Show tonight. Everybody just *6 to mute out. Maybe somebody's on Skype. They got to turn their Skype down a little. And we just infuse it, we expand it to the show tonight and every detail. And Cynthia, tell me again what you said. Willingly suspend. What is that line you said? And then we'll go to Misty's
It's a famous quote, and I apologize. I don't remember who said it, but it's the willing suspension of disbelief.
Okay, you said two sentences. You said two things this time. Suspend.
Just whatever you've been taught, whatever you think is true, whoever you think you are or not, just put it aside.
Okay. Say the sentence again, because I have a word for that.
It's the willing suspension of disbelief.
Okay, suspend your willing suspension of disbelief. That to me means do not have any expectation. Okay, hold that thought right there, Cynthia, that question. We're going to come back to that before you do your astrology, because I want to dig into that a little bit.
Oh, that is
do not
very
have any
important. What you just said is really important. Thank you.
We're going to come back to that. We're going to listen to Misty's card for all of us. And yes, it's very important. I agree with you. Do not have any expectations. It's kind of like a conundrum, and I've been thinking about it for a long time. So we're going to pick that apart tonight, and it's going to help all of us. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. And Misty, go for it.
Yes. Well,
you're a little far away.
Uh-oh. Can you hear me better now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cynthia,
how
can
shall
pick
we?
The number.
Cynthia, you have a number coming to you, dear?
Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah.
Yeah, 7.
Okay. Ooh, okay. It is Earth Earth element pentacles, the number 3, and mastery. It'll take me just a second. Okay. The traditional card is the 3 of Pentacles. The key words are achievement, perseverance, and joy. And the description is this. A mighty ancient oak tree, its branches filled with acorns, grows richly and firmly along the riverbank. This strong visual symbol of the earth and the physical in it is in perfect harmony with the waters of spirit, each taking and giving to the other. On the ground beneath the great oak are scattered acorns, also symbolic of both physical and spiritual strength and long life. The oak freely gives its acorns, seeds of knowledge, to all who seek them. Leaping upward from the water with joy is a woman half shifted into an otter. The otter represents the ability to recover from a crisis through the acquisition of wisdom and the need to rejoice in life itself. A badger, perseverance, productive action, and protection, peers from behind the oak, intent on the woman and her playful motions. Once the initiate learns how to meet and learn from the trials of life, once she opens herself willingly to renewal, she also learns the value of badger energy to protect herself. Dedication to the pursuit of spiritual wisdom and the common sense use of that wisdom have filled the initiate's life with such joy of being that she cannot help but express it through her daily interaction with the world. Weaving along the banks, through the water and over the otter woman are yellow roses and tiny white narcissus, symbols of her renewal of spirit and achievements in the physical. Now, the prophecy for this is short. The seeker has come through a time of inner or outer crisis and is facing the rewards of positive action and reaction. If you are still in the backwaters of a trial, persevere, for you will triumph in the end. Your goals and dreams will soon be achieved. And I hope that that was a personal reading for more than just one person, because I surely got a lot out of that for myself.
That's for everybody. That's for everybody. Yes, indeed, and everything here. Thank you, Misty. That was awesome.
You're welcome.
Do you want to give a little prelude? Is your show this Thursday?
Yes, my show is this Thursday.
And Misty, it's with Misty Lindstar. We are the solution. And?
Yes. So we're going to have Dr. Bradford Weeks come on at the beginning of the show about 5:30 and talk about some natural health things. And then we're going to do a second shot at Lady Tara Kay, who was unable to join us last time, but she's definitely available this time. So we'll have like a first half and a second half kind of a thing.
And Lady Tara Kay, she's numerology or?
Yes, she's like a numerology expert, and she's wonderful, and she's full of light and love and good things, and here trying to help people. So
great.
it'll be fun. It'll be a lot of fun.
Sounds fun and a great show. Thank you, Misty Lindstar.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Okay, and I want to announce, too, I gave my phone number earlier, so if you guys want it, go back to the recording. It'll be, the reference number will be pound until we do a call tomorrow. But if you ever need to have a reference number, if it's not up on YouTube quick enough for you, you can always call me and I'll give you the reference number to the call. So, and be sure, too, to listen to all the shows on the one that has a picture of a diamond, the YouTube channel on the right side of the blog. Those are excellent shows, and share them to your friends. Cynthia's link is on there, and Chris's link is on there. I want to announce that me and Chris and Candy will be doing a special show with Chris, Candy and me on Saturday. I believe it's 12 noon this Saturday, the 18th, and I think this is the 18th coming up. So just dial into this line. We'll be recording. We'll put that on YouTube if you can't attend. But if you want to, come on along. Now, before Cynthia brings in the energies that are coming in now that we can use to our advantage, since we'll be even more conscious of it because she tells us in words what they are, and she even gives us clues and hints of tools that we can use to help those energies with us. Okay, it's called the willingness suspension of what, Cynthia?
Had to mute back in here. Disbelief, the willing suspension of disbelief.
The willing suspension of disbelief.
Yeah.
To me, you said two sentences earlier about that, so you guys go back to the call. I have to listen to it again. It says one word to me: have no expectations. Now, I heard that a long time ago. The willingness suspension of disbelief. Have no expectation. Well, as creators, when we're imagining and dreaming and thinking of, joy in our life and imagining that joy, a scenery and all that, or like Diamonds Network, I'm thinking and dreaming where I want it to go, my vision, you got to have pictures in your mind. And then after you're done doing that through months or weeks or whatever, then it's like you because I'm confused. It's like, don't you have to expect something to come when you're dreaming all that, and then the pictures you put in to imagine how it will go? And then they say don't have expectations with that. And this is a part of our we're creating, you guys, with our thoughts and imagination. So this is why I'm asking Cynthia, anybody else that can answer this. I don't get what it's when they say don't have expectations of it. Dream it, create it, think of it, imagine it, but don't have expectations. What the heck does that mean, Cynthia?
I can tell you. Well, go ahead.
I can tell you, too.
Okay, well, who wants to go first, Richard or Cynthia?
Yeah, Richard, go ahead.
Ladies
first. Okay, Rich, you're a little far away, Richard. Come up to the phone. Come on, Richard.
Well, let me go ahead. He said ladies first. I think I qualify. Okay.
But we're all diamonds, though.
Okay, here's the deal. You're talking about 4 different brainwave patterns and 4 different stages of development of the human organism in physical form. The no expectations, and this is just my interpretation, applies to the beta brainwave function, which is dominant after puberty. It is linear logic and memory and conscience. In other words, in the beta brainwave function, which becomes dominant after we go through puberty, we remember and we are logical. 1 + 1 = 2. And we think, well, this happened in the past, so most likely it will happen again in the future. It's algorithms, which is a big deal in computers, which is why I said earlier they can do the left brain, but even if they were to do the right brain, they still wouldn't be able to do the heart. Now, this is going to take me just a moment, but to answer this question, I just need to bring in some common sense reminders. Please, people, we all know, I hope we all know, that there are no 2 snowflakes alike. No, not even a little snowflake. There's no 2 of them alike. No. And there's no 2 DNA alike. We've got 7 billion people on the planet. There's no 2 DNA alike. No, it doesn't happen. Ain't going to happen. Can't happen. There's no 2 eye irises alike. That's why they have eye recognition devices. Ain't going to happen. There's no 2 alike. It doesn't occur. There are no 2 moments alike. Our solar system, along with the Virgo Hydra cluster and the Sagittarius and the local group and all, we're traveling at 600 kilometers a second or something like that, or 600 million kilometers a second. toward an anomaly in space called the Great Attractor at 15 Sag. So we're never in the same place. Never. And add to that there are no two people alike, there's no two places alike. We are expanding. According to math, we're doubling in size every 19 minutes. The whole creation is. So here you've got this little poor left brain limping along in beta brainwave, and it remembers what happened in the past, and it's trying to project it on the future. But you see, there is a critical flaw in that what happened 10 minutes ago, 10 years ago, 10,000 years ago was then, and this is now. We're in a whole different location in space. We're a whole different size, and all the players have different DNA. So it's an impossibility, a mathematical impossibility, that the same thing will actually happen twice. Now, if you study Rupert Sheldrake and morphogenetic fields, there are programs where things appear similar. For example, maybe there are no two humans with DNA alike, but guess what? They all look like humans. And maybe there are no two snowflakes that look exactly alike, but boy, are they ever familiar as snowflakes. So what am I saying here? I'm giving you a paradox, both sides of which are true. They're very similar, and yet they're not. And there is that midpoint. It's called the middle path of Buddha, or the razor's edge. It's like if you have a pendulum, you can pull the pendulum over a little bit to the right, and it'll go a little bit to the left, or you can pull it way back to the right, and it'll go way back to the left. But it will eventually come right to the middle, and that's what a pyramid is. You'll have the bottom, well, depending on whether the pyramid's pointing down or up, but let's just, for the sake of discussion, say it's pointing up. You have this whole baseline, and the peak of the pyramid is right in the middle. Strongest shape there is, first basic shape. So anyway, when you put out an intention, what that says is about no expectations, and yet Elizabeth is saying, but wait a minute, you're supposed to visualize and feel. It's another paradox. And my suggestion on how to deal with it is this. Just like there are no two snowflakes alike, but they all appear similar, and there's no two humans alike, but they all appear similar, and there's no two eyes alike, but they all appear similar. Say you put the visualization out, well, say in Elizabeth's case, I'm just putting words in your mouth here, the Diamonds Forever 31 being a big deal, just successful, really make an impact, really making a difference in people's lives. Okay, well, in the past there have been other things like that. The Johnny Carson show when we were growing up, the Beatles during the hippie days, and on and on and on and on. There'll be these big players. And there is a similarity. If you look back at the Renaissance, if you look back in the Renaissance, the minstrels were the big players. They went from court to court, kingdom to kingdom, playing their music. And then you go up into, the 1800s, the 1700s, the early 1900s. There was a time, when Elvis Presley was a big deal. Then it was the Beatles, and then it's somebody else and somebody else. There are similarities. Like there are similarities between humans and snowflakes, but they're not the same. So when you create an intention, get a general idea and the wonderful, triumphant emotions that go along with that success. But don't lock it into a specific parameter, because it ain't going to happen. It's impossible. It will be similar. It will be recognizable.
So are you saying try to feel the emotions of what you're dreaming? The
whole key, according to the science, and we're talking CERN and all of it, we're talking decades of research, and we're also talking of esoteric philosophy, which is where Neptune stationed retrograde yesterday, is that emotions govern the quantum field. The language of the quantum field is not German, it's not English, it's not some alien dialogue. All your linguistics are beta brainwave. They're linear and they're linear. The determining factor of the quantum field is emotions. And when you're in a bloody rage and you hate life and you want to destroy everything and you are a very powerful race like the Dracos, then to do that you would come down here to the carbon-based planet and get everybody to be upset, to be in chaotic emotions, inwardly and outwardly, and that's exactly what they've done. However, if, say you are the Draco, and you realize, oh my God, we've gotten even further in science and we're understanding we're one organism and that when one is harmed, all are harmed, and when one is helped, all are helped. Therefore, our survival depends on the survival of even the least creature, which is exactly what Jesus Christ said, and Buddha and all the great masters. They said, what you do unto the least of these, you're doing it unto me. Step on a blade of grass and the universe trembles. God is aware of the least sparrow. So we get to the level of sophistication where regardless of what it is, whether it's artificial intelligence or whether it's the greatest archangels that ever were, or the greatest saints and prophets from this or any sphere in any time, we all come to this final conclusion of evolution that we can do no harm, not to anything, not anything inside of ourselves or outside of ourselves, because it's one organism. Inside of ourselves is breathing in, outside of ourselves is breathing out. You can't have an out-breath without an in-breath. You can't have an in-breath without an out-breath. If Elizabeth is unhappy, it's affecting all of us. If she goes out there and rescues a little bird who fell out of its nest, it's affecting all of us. And all of us ain't just everybody on the planet. It's affecting the whole quantum field. So the more good we can do, the more joy we can bring. But back to your thing you do here is the very best thing to do would be, like in the case of the Diamonds Forever 31 thing you do here, is to do a meditation. You might want to do it for a few days or a few hours or whatever. Do a meditation where, and by the way, this is how you learn how to walk on hot coals and not get burned, because I've done it and I've been to the workshops. We even sponsored them. You do a meditation where you get into the emotion of triumph. If you can remember, there are various ways to do it. You can remember times in your life when you felt triumphant, like maybe when you made an A on a test, or maybe when you won the skating contest, or maybe when your favorite person won the game, or maybe when the most popular guy in the class wanted to go study with you, or whatever, times when you felt triumphant. Now, in the case that you can't remember even one time that you never felt triumphant, imagine what it would feel like if you had. Just imaginary, just imagine, you just daydream of situations where you feel this exuberant triumph, the glory of triumph, and then tag that emotion onto your visualization of the Diamonds Forever 31 existing. It's existing as this triumph. But don't lock it into a specific form. For example, take Elvis Presley and the Beatles. They both were groundbreakers, but there was major differences between the two. Now, maybe these other groups at various times through history have been very successful. But there's going to be major differences between them and this. Just like there are major differences between every single snowflake and DNA. There are similarities. And so we've got the emotion of triumph, but let's get a few more emotions in here, because the more emotions you put in here, the more detailed your hologram will be. So we've got the emotion of triumph. How about the emotion of just melting love? The kind of love that just brings you to your knees and makes tears come out of your eyes. Whether it's love that you feel coming into you or love coming from you to something else, whatever. Just do a meditation of just this love. You know, maybe your mother loved you that way. Maybe you had an aunt that loved you that way. Maybe you had a pet that loved you that way, or a lover. But even if you haven't, imagine what it would be like if you did. And go into the emotion of this, no words can describe it, overwhelming, all-encompassing love. Tie it into the triumph. So you're getting interference patterns here, which is how you create holograms. And if you study Buddhism, where, you know, what is real, it's all an illusion, they're right and they're wrong. They're absolutely right, no doubt about it, and they're absolutely wrong, no doubt about it. Well, which is it? It's in the middle, between the two polarities. It makes a triangle.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. So I hope that
That's
answered it.
Razor's edge. Yes, yes.
Yeah, the middle path of Buddha.
Now let's bring in Richard. And Richard, what does it mean to create something, imagine it in your mind, like for your life or a circumstance, and you're imagining it, you know, as a different way. You're imagining joy in it instead of heartache, and with pictures and thoughts and emotions, and then have no expectations. Okay, answer that question, Richard.
All right, I'm ready for that one. It's not exactly about having no expectations. Let's talk for a moment about a polarity, right? Polarity exists. All right, so building on what Cynthia said, all right, if in my own head, and I'm looking into the future, and I'm creating expectations, all right, I got a plan, and I'm creating expectations. Now, when your expectations are high and they don't pan out, your emotional body responds. All right? So, expectations is something to pay attention to. All right? So, this is an area where you need to use both the left and the right brain and the heart. All right? So let's start with the heart. The heart says, do good, do no harm, law of one. Okay, that's the heart. All right, now, because we're human, we have a left brain and a right brain. Now, in our left brain, we do the logic stuff. all right? We do planning. We do Gemini. The sun's in Gemini, Venus in Gemini. Mercury just went into Gemini yesterday. Gemini is a very, very important energy, okay? And it's all about relationship, all right? Self and self, self and community, self and the collective unconscious, self and the superconscious. Gemini is all about communication, all right? Now, communication, the point of communication is to establish collaboration. Collaboration. What do we, as a community, want to create? All right? So we're in that season right now. Summer solstice is next Monday. It'll be the end of Gemini solar-wise, but Mercury just entered into Gemini. So study your Gemini issues, and you will find that the essence, this is my personal opinion here, the essence is collaborative communication. What do we do together as a group, as a community? Right? The Gemini issues are about the one and the many. All right? That's about the law of one. The law of one is we are all one. All right? I'm an individual. I'm a speck. I'm a snowflake. And the law of one reminds me that we are all one. We're all in this mess together, right? So, in this season, and as we look at where we're going forward here, right? You know, if you think of it, right now it's 9:13 on the Eastern Time Zone on a Monday night. All right? This is the now. The now. And what Cynthia didn't say, but what I read behind what she was saying, is that if you're going to progress, all right, if you're going to progress, then you need to consider these things. You need to have this basket. Think of it as a basket of fundamentals. All right, I've got a basket of fundamentals. All right, the law of one is in that basket. Astrology as a useful tool is in that basket. All right, the study of, the paying attention to is in that basket. When you look at fundamentals, what is the most valuable thing that you own? Take any of you out there on this call. What's the most valuable thing you own? I will tell you that the most valuable thing you own is your attention to another. Your time and your choice. This is your point of power, your time and your choice. All right, I choose to be here, and I choose to talk to you. This is your power. This is the essence of where your power sits. All right? Now, consider this, and I'll be brief. what are the 4 fundamental questions of all the philosophers that you've ever heard philosophers talk about? All right? See, my problem is I'm a philosopher and I'm a sociologist now. And I've studied psychology and engineering and biology and chemistry and physics. But see, this is my problem. My problem right now is how do I assimilate what I'm learning, right? So here's my 4 fundamental questions of human existence. All right. The first one is, what am I able to know? What can I know? All right. All right. So there's a all right. So you can take that knowing into that Sagittarian energy, okay? What can I know? Sagittarius is about exploration. All right, what can I know? All right, Sagittarius, the galactic center sits in Sagittarius. What can I know? All right, so question number 2 is, what is a human? All right, what is a human? What do we humans, what are the aspects of we humans? What do we share? All right, what is true for all of us? All right, male or female? I'll just start there, and we'll truncate that discussion. Okay, what does it mean to be human? All right, what are the human attributes? What are we able to know? All right, that goes back to question 1. What are we as humans able to know? All right. So we do that. Okay, now question number 3. See, question number 2 is Taurus. Question number 1 is Aries. All right, Aries is the impulse to know. Taurus is the response to Aries. All right, what am I? What am I? The second house. What am I? What's valuable? All right. Now, when we get to Gemini, which we're in the season of now, the energy is asking us to dance, to communicate, to interrelate. Yes.
I like to dance. Woohoo!
Yes. So we're in the season of Gemini. But the point to summarize here is that everything is cyclic. Curb your expectations. All right. This is where we started this. Curb your expectation.
And focus more on the emotions while you're doing your...
Here's the thing. When you're a reverend, a shaman, whatever, minister, you're going to fail with the community. All right? What I do is I have my community, right? I talk to them, I live with them, I deal with them, whatever. And sometimes we fail and sometimes we succeed. Now, knowing that, I don't need to go into a depression when I fail with one of my congregation. All right? I've got a congregation. One of my congregation, let's say it's a guy and whatever, and I can't turn him, I can't show him, I can't demonstrate to him the law of one. I can't get him off his condition. I can't move him away from his addiction. But I'm going to lose some of the battles, and I am going to win some of the battles. So keep your expectations at a middle level, understanding that sometimes you're going to win, sometimes you're going to lose, and that's the nature of the spiritual path. And I pass the talking stick.
Thank you, Richard, so much. Profound, both of you, Cynthia and Richard. Thank you for shining that diamond on that expectation. And remember, too, neutrality. There's no such thing as win and lose. It's all experience. So when you feel like you lost, when you feel like that, do a paradigm shift, go inside yourself, meditate, and think about it. Okay, I think this is a failed thing, but it really isn't. It's for my experience. What did I learn out of it? What is the universe teaching me? Precept upon precept. Yeah, glory. So now let's go into the what Cynthia is going to bring for the energies that are here and how we can use them consciously as we awake. Because people that don't listen to this, they're not conscious of it. So we can be more conscious of it and grow ourselves, heal ourselves more. And then after that, we're going to do our little fun strategy galactizing with everybody. So get ready. I got a strategy from the angels. That's what I get for calling them in, Cynthia. Come on in. And I think Mayor's here too.
Okay. There's so much we can talk about. Richard, that was beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, right on. The one little thing I want to add to that is the second question, who are we? And what I want to say is we are four things, actually five. And we have to operate on every one of those levels. And every effort has been made to circumvent that by what I call the autoimmune disease that we have been through on a galactic level that we incarnated into. Now, everybody who incarnated into this, you chose to, you came in because you're warriors and you can handle it. But what we're coming out of, as of a few days ago, boy, could I go on about that, but is the battle is over now, and now we're rebuilding tissue. In other words, the autoimmune disease has been dealt with, it's run its course, and now we are rebuilding our strength and our health. And that's on five levels. And that's what being a human is we operate on 5 levels. And these 5 levels in science, if you want to get the books and read about them, and there are good books and bad books about everything, you just find the better ones, is we operate on a level of oneness with everything, and we enter that level every night in deep, dreamless sleep. And that's when our bodies heal. I say that plural. Our physical bodies heal, emotional, mental, and spiritual bodies heal. And those are the other 4. And then the other 4, which are healing and deep dreamless sleep, which is where we're one with everything, are our intentions, which is our spirit. The spirit operates through our minds, which is it is a very interesting substance. The intentions come into the mind. The mind does whatever it does with it. It'll create visual images. It will have thoughts about it, beliefs, and so forth and so on. But whatever the mind does will create corresponding emotions. Now, that's where you are the magician. You're either a conscious magician or an unconscious magician. And what they tried to do was make us unconscious magicians so that we would do what they wanted us to do. But that's been taken care of, and now we have to catch up and get used to being conscious magicians. And our emotions are the magic.
Cynthia?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just interesting. It's flowing really well. Just today, by the way, I blogged a beautiful article about how they programmed us. So just know we already have knowledge. Knowledge plus knowledge plus understanding equals wisdom. Wisdom's action. So we have a knowledge of we have been programmed. This article will give you the understanding of it. So you have a knowledge plus understanding equals wisdom. Now you have the action of it, which Cynthia's saying we're coming out of that. So that's beautiful. Go ahead.
Thank you. That's beautiful. So anyway, what I'm saying is, as a human being, we operate on these 5 levels. We operate on the level of pure being. That's what the law does. The law of one, it says, we are all one. Therefore, in the name of who I am, and I am one with all there is. That's the deep delta brainwave level that we enter every night in deep dreamless sleep. And then it says, when one is harmed, all are harmed, and one is helped, all are helped. There we are entering into theta, alpha, and beta brainwaves where we perceive self and others. We are entering into the time and space matrix. And we are learning as creators, as artists, how to use our intentions and the thoughts that go along with the intentions, which is what I see your question, Elizabeth, being as. You're saying, okay, I'm making these intentions. Now what kind of thoughts do I make? What kind of visualizations do I make? I'm hearing a double message here, I hear you saying. I'm hearing make a visual image, get the feelings of it happening, and then I'm hearing don't have any expectations, and I'm saying you do both. It's a balance. In other words, you have your intention, you visualize emotions is what I would say. You visualize emotions. You visualize the Diamonds Forever 31 being emotionally just off the charts of ecstasy, happiness, grace and mercy, the splendor and majesty of divine being, faith, wisdom, high inspiration, all of that. You feel the emotions of it being connected to this creation that you've so carefully conceived of and gestated and brought into a reality that's affecting many, many people. But you leave the details alone. That's where you don't have expectations. Now, in many of the cultures like Buddhism and Tibetan cultures, one of the phrases that I really love is, quote unquote, beginner's mind. You cultivate a beginner's mind. And just think about what a beginner's mind is, and you cultivate that. You've got a visualization and expectations of beautiful emotions, but what form is it going to take? Hey, look, Misty didn't even know what card she was going to pick tonight. She knew she was going to do cards. She knew how to do the cards. She's probably been doing them for years. But she didn't even know. And she says, Cynthia, and I say 7, and then she reads that. You see what I'm saying? She knew and she didn't. And so you have intentions, you create the emotions that go along with it, and then you go into beginner's mind, into the not knowing, into the not knowing. And then what happens, and this is what I love so deeply, is constant amazement. You'll see what you created unfolding, but in the ways you could have never dreamed of in a million years. And it's...
You mean constant surprises, Cynthia?
Yes!
Oh, yay! I love surprises. I'm serious.
Yes!
Really?
I have to speak up.
Okay.
This point is fundamental to self-education and what each of us individually know about our condition. So yes, doubt is useful. It leads to investigation. And investigation leads to education, leads to knowledge and wisdom. Back to you.
Okay, now, I'm going to get to the point, because the point I'm going to make tonight is this is a news update on breaking news, and that is yesterday at 4:42 and 20 seconds Eastern Standard Time, Neptune stationed retrograde, where it will be in the backflow until November 19th. Now, that's all scientific jargon, which means nothing to anybody except people who have been in the field. So let me just put it in English. Everything having to do with wisdom has now been turned inward, and it will stay inward until November 19th. And this is very good news, because the way holographs work and the way humans work is we create it inside and then it happens outside. It's like going into a movie. You're looking at this big screen, there's all this stuff unfolding, but it's coming from the camera behind you. It's being projected. And so we are all cameras, and we're projecting out there, creating these amazing interference patterns with each other, which gets into that collective thing you were talking about earlier about community and tribe. But each and every one of us needs to get our projection apparatus and the film that we're running through it in order. And so from yesterday till November 19th, every human being on this planet is going to be going through a review. Now, the particular review they're going to go through, Richard, would you mind reading 13 Pisces? Because this is the exact file that has been opened to be downloaded during this time.
And remember, call these angels in as you listen to them. Ask them for wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and strategy, if you dare. Come on in, Richard.
All right. Can you hear me okay? This Neptune is the higher octave of Mercury. That's one of those fundamental astrological principles not often spoken about. But Neptune is about wisdom. And wisdom requires data. That's the Mercury thing, data. All right. So
now, is beta meditation, or is it like sleeping, a slower brain? What wave is that?
No. He said data with a D instead of beta with a B. It's just the technology we're using. It's data, D-A-T-A.
Thank you. Yes, data, facts. All right, facts are data. All right. There's no wishy-washy about facts. That's why they're called facts. It is what it is. But here's what Neptune is asking us to do. All right. I don't know if I want to go as far as demanding that we do this, but here's 13 degrees Pisces. This is from the divine sky, the angel messages, 13 Pisces. Chlorrecha, K-L-O-R-E-C-H-A. These are the angel, this is the angel group of occult philosophy. Now, I will admit to the group here that that's one of my issues. I'm a philosopher. And philosophers have their own particular issues. But here's what the Chlorrecha, angels of philosophy, would like you to know. Desire to walk in the footsteps of great teachers, a.k.a. Jesus, Buddha, and adepts is the calling of every spirit and soul. So there's a desire here to find teachers and adepts and pick their brains for wisdom. When the time comes for one to break free of cultural and traditional limitations and learn the truth behind the phenomena of miracles, we, the angels of occult philosophy, provide examples, protection, and guidance for the seeker to acquire true occult knowledge. All right? So I'm one of those folks. I'm a seeker seeking to acquire true occult knowledge. And many of you on this call, you're the same way. You do it your way, I do it my way, whatever. All right. So here's what they say. Your intensity of longing for enlightenment. That's like related to your soul. Your intensity for longing for enlightenment. Longing is related to hope. Divine nostalgia. All right, so we've got longing for enlightenment, divine nostalgia. Now that relates to what you have experienced before, prior incarnations, way back. You all are old souls here. So this intensity of longing for enlightenment and divine nostalgia is the divine force key here. Divine force motivating the seeker, that's you and me, to advance on your, mine, our, their quest. There is a compelling emotional memory, right? That's karma. Compelling emotional memory, deeply embedded in each of us, each person, of union with the one being. That would be the delta brainwave state, right, Cynthia? In the bedrock, all right? That's like the deepest physicality of yourself. In the bedrock of awareness exists eternally, that's like forever and ever, a sense of what it felt like, it's the emotional body, to be in that indescribable state of bliss. This nostalgia memory prior incarnational memories. All right, nostalgia holds prior incarnational memories, calls us, the seekers, to not be satisfied with less than who we really are. Divine nostalgia is a guiding compass, stirring each person to push forward on his or her path. We look for the intense yearning as a sign that one is ready to be initiated into the performing of miracles. If it is present, it makes our job so much easier. We can provide for them to be directly taught by an adept. That's a Gemini thing. They will hook you up with the right people at the right time for the right education, all right? Or, if more appropriate, for us to help them procure books for private study. I'm big on books. There's no point in trying to rediscover past wisdom. They've written it down, our brothers and sisters, they've written it down. We find these books, we read these books, and it gives us material to think and feel about. This is why I'm a librarian. This is the time for people to advance. Wake up. This is the time for people to advance in their own empowerment. It is not enough to admire those who have gone before us. It is necessary to tread in their footsteps. That's key. That's key. It is necessary to tread in their footsteps. Buddha, Jesus come to mind, many others.
Anybody that inspires you in your heart. Anybody.
Yes.
Even somebody on the street. Yes.
It is about the consecrated individual who has borne the trauma and succeeded in coming through the other side. Becoming accomplished, doing what they did, right? Mandala, he comes to mind. Gandhi comes to mind. When a child of God gazes on any situation and wishes to bring healing for doing so must be in place. So in general, we're in a zone here where check your heart, take your therapy, get your education, communicate with your peers, and with the highest good of all concerned. And
Thank you, Richard.
I pass the talking stick.
Back to you, Cynthia.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Yeah, so a lot of theorizing and a lot of explaining is important, and we're doing that. But if it's not balanced with action, it's like seed that doesn't sprout. So,
So are you saying that we're going inside to getting motivated, our mentors are coming along?
Okay,
it's stirring our insides to action, but then the action, we'll see it on the outside of us in the world.
Okay, what I'm saying is this, is we have not been told the truth. We all know that. We have to go to alternative news and glean what we can. A lot of it's secret behind the scenes because it would interfere if it were publicly known. Oh gosh, that took me, that's intense. What I'm saying is this. We've all been programmed, and we know that. Some of the programming is excellent and beautiful because the truth is always hidden there, and we glean it out. And some of the program isn't okay. And it's like the food that we eat. We might be eating junk food. We might be eating the very, 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 very best food in the whole world. But regardless of what we eat, tomorrow it is literally shit. What's left of it, the good stuff has been absorbed into our body as nutrients, and the rest is expelled. And what this is saying to me is this. Regardless of what I or you or any of us have been taught or not taught, whatever we've been taught that is true or whatever we've been taught that isn't true, or whatever it is that we even haven't heard of, true or untrue, the time is now for us to go into our divinity, whatever that is. We are not robots. We are sons and daughters of God, period. What does that mean? Well, you can approach it from science. You can approach it from math. You can approach it from philosophy. You can approach it from any way you want to approach it. There's a whole lot of different ways to approach it. Probably the best is all of them together. You know, it's the blind man and the elephant thing. But whatever it is or whatever it isn't, whether we understand it or not, or even can conceive of it, it is time for us to go into who we really are. It's like you say, Liz, the who that we are, our supernatural, natural selves, and it's time to do miracles, as we all know. My guess is that the damage that has been done to this planet is far surpassing anything we've ever been taught. I was reading today about a patent that came out 10 years ago, how they can put vaccines and everything else in our food and we don't even know it. It was a patent. So whether it's been done for our good, whether the good guys did that, whether the bad guys did it, whether it wasn't done at all, well, we'll find out. But regardless of what it is or isn't or might be or could be or should be, it is time for us to do miracles. It's time for us to go into our divinity and do miracles. And we need to heal the waters of the earth. We need to, I found out from a person who is very highly qualified with all the letters after the name, that on a molecular level we're 99% water, and that the Earth is too, because they've discovered there's huge amounts of water under the surface of the Earth. And water is a programmable medium. And you might want to Google that. They've found that water molecules can hold more information than any chip they could ever make. And so we are walking computer chips, and so is the Earth. And the miracles are to get rid of all the viruses and the malware and upgrade the system to its original divine blueprint. And how do we do that? And that's the question I heard you say, Liz, earlier, which is about expectations contradicting the instructions to create visualizations and to feel the energies of it already happening. And the answer, of course, was the middle path, and that is you have a general visualization. Like a snowflake looks like a snowflake, a human looks like a human. You have a general visualization. You combine it with emotions. Now, whatever emotions you combine it with, that's what you're going to get. If there's doubt and uncertainty and fear and anger and I've got to survive at all costs and greed or lust or I've got to be powerful, whatever, okay, those are emotions. That's what you're going to get. If the emotions are beauty, their peace, their love, their contentment, their security, their happiness, that's what you're going to get. Now, emotions being compressed information, which change the frequencies of the water which holds them. I'm just going to give you the end of the book. I'm going to spoil the whole show for you. I'm going to reveal what happens in this story. And I'm not the first one to do it. And that is this. You want the emotions of happiness. Elizabeth, when you create your intention, be sure that with whatever you put in there, whatever visualizations and whatever emotions, that the end result, when you add all the numbers together, you add, you subtract, you multiply, you divide, and you have that equal sign, that it equals happiness. And I would hope that when you do that, you will make it supreme happiness, divine happiness, the seventh heaven of delight.
For sure. With maximum
everything.
With maximum efficiency, minimum effort, supreme happiness. I can't stop with that.
Absolutely. And there is how you do the miracles. We have got to get back control of our mental processes and our emotional processes, unplug them from our handlers, our trainers. Whatever fear, whatever terror, whatever hopelessness, whatever anger, whatever betrayal, whatever disappointment, whatever emotions that they have put in there, knowing that we would create out of the quantum field similar physical realities. We've got to get back control of it, which means it's an intense time of really cleaning up house. It's a time of cleaning up house, and it's cleaning up our emotional house, cleaning up our mental house, cleaning up our spiritual house and our physical house, literally all four. Because intentions, they want us to intend whatever they want us to intend. If it's bombing Russia or spending our money on dangerous drugs, whatever they want us to intend, they make sure we intend it. Okay, thoughts, whatever they want us to believe, they make sure we believe that. Whatever emotions they want us to feel, chaos, fear. And then whatever physical situations happen because of that, if they're worshiping chaos, they're delighted with the results. Now, it's interesting. They've had to do all these false flag events where they actually hire actors because we're not doing it naturally. Now, maybe 100 years ago, we would have done it naturally. We would have been so programmed, we would have gladly sent our sons and daughters off to bomb some people we don't even know, believing we were doing it for God and our country. But now it's different. Now, even the scientists, even the military, everybody's finally got to the top of the mountain, following their own path, and they're realizing, oh my goodness, this is a biological situation. We really are one organism, and we can't be an autoimmune disease. We have got to work in harmony. And the survival of all of it depends on that. Because that was the whole thing before, was survival. And it was based on a very low, early stage of development called the reptilian brainstem. And it's just been fascinating. The whole thing has been fascinating. But all of it's now coming into compliance with the law of one, which means that our culture is crashing. All culture as we know it is crashing. That old culture is crashing. So as the culture crashes out of the ashes, a new culture arises with many surprises.
I love it.
And it's that sense of wonder that is the having no expectations. Because you are expecting whatever it is you're creating with whatever emotions you're putting into it, but what form it takes. Get a kaleidoscope. They're cheap, and they've just got little bits and pieces of colored glass and a lens, and you just turn that little rascal, and you end up with endless mandalas of great beauty, no two ever alike. But they're all beautiful. That part's predictable. That much you can expect. If you have an intention and you imbue it with beautiful emotions, for example, say you want to build a commune, a bunch of middle-aged people, and they've had it with the city, and they want to go in together, and they want to buy 100 acres, and they want to have the best community you ever saw in a million years. And they have studied other communities, and they picked out things they like and things that maybe they don't like that much. But they go out there with this great intention, and we're building this community, and we've found this great land. And they imbue it with emotions. They imbue it with emotions of joy, of peace, of excitement and mystery and wonder and love and contentment and safety. And they go out there and they all set up the way they're going to set up according to inner guidance, because they're in beginner's mind. They're saying, well, am I going to build an underground house? Am I going to build a dome? Am I going to build a tree house? Am I going to make it a pyramid, a dodecahedron? Are we going to do this? Are we going to do that? Are we all going to live in this part and then leave this natural? Are we going to do this? Are we going to do that? Blah, 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 blah. And day after day after day after day, they're making all these decisions. And slowly but surely, this whole thing takes shape. And they have this tribe and they have this community unlike any other. And yet there's similarities. And it's exciting and it's fun. And it's that excitement and that fun and that wonder and that mystery of the beginner's mind that does what? It makes life worth living, because you're always on the edge of your seat waiting for the next installment, right? And if you think of it, that we are one being, which we enter into that consciousness every night in deep dreamless sleep, and that we are eternal. We are forever. And there's only one of us. That's either going to be the worst curse that ever happened because you can never die and you're all alone, or through genius that only can be described as the splendor and majesty of divine being, we create the illusion of being many. Many worlds, many forms, many creatures, many organisms, big and small, many ladies, many gentlemen, many little kitties, many grandparents, many adventures that are so varied and so unique and so wonderful and so unpredictable that we literally are so happy, again, back to the word happiness, that we never want it to end. Now, what else would God do with himself, herself, but that? Create a reality, a dream.
He'd play with himself.
So beautiful. Exactly. A dream so beautiful that makes you so happy that you literally do not ever want it to end. You want it to go on forever. That way it is not a curse. It is a blessing. And happiness, I believe, is the key. Now, happiness is made up of love. It's made up of faith. It's made up of wisdom. It's made up of harmony and justice. It's made up of transformation, transmutation, the cycles and rhythms of life, the divine qualities.
Adventure.
Yeah. And how else better would you do it but that to become many beings? I mean, if there's only one being, and that being is Elizabeth and Cynthia and Richard and people over in China and people up in spaceships hovering around the sun and people yet to be born 10 million years from now and were born 10 million years ago, but it's all one being. Hey, that's a good book. I think we can keep reading it. Right? It's not so bad.
Yep, and it's a book with no end. It's not the end at the end.
It's a never-ending
limitless
story. It's the never-ending
limitless
story. It's the never-ending story. And the whole key is our emotions. Because if that story ever becomes sad, you get people suiciding. They either put a gun to their head or they will just attract diseases or they'll have an accident or a heart attack. But get me out of here. I'm not happy. But as long as it's happy, they never want it to end. And therefore, what do? How do we approach that? The Bible says, ye must be as little children to enter the kingdom of heaven. So let's study kids. Let's study their brainwave patterns and recreate for ourselves those conditions and be there, even while we're 1,000 years old or 10,000 years old, 1,000,000 years old, because the last enemy to be overcome is death. We are going into youth and immortality as sons and daughters of God, but the only way that's going to work is if we are genuinely, not fake, not where we have to go into a lot of denial and self-hypnosis, but genuinely happy. Where we wake up in the morning and, oh, we're so glad to be alive. And we go to bed that night and we go, woo, what a beautiful day. What a beautiful world. Skies of blue, and I love you. Every day, another view. Surprises as the phoenix arises out of the ashes of yesterday to become a new way. How can I say? It's all love. The intention to love and the emotions of love manifesting Like let me just tell you this story. It's a true story. About 6 feet from where I'm sitting right now is a basket, and it's hanging from something up about 8 feet off the floor, and in it is a house of nesting wrens. They built a nest in there, and they're raising their babies. And I sit up here, and so I'm watching these birds fly in and out with these little bugs in their mouth, and they've got these little things hatching in there. And like I've got this overhead fan, this big overhead fan, and yesterday, and Meredith was here and she can testify, yesterday the daddy wren, these are house wrens, just in no uncertain terms, leaving nothing to doubt, said, "You turn off this overhead fan. You do it now, and you do not turn it on until these babies have left the nest." So I have taped over the controls for my overhead fan, so nobody can turn it on by accident. And now we're using these little fans because Daddy Wren has laid down the law. You should have heard him. My goodness. I had a tongue lashing from a house wren that I will never forget as long as I live, telling me to turn off that overhead fan. And so here I am, day by day by day, watching this whole drama unfold right here in my upstairs with these house wrens that fly in and out of my double doors overlooking the balcony, right? And this is bringing me so much joy. I never knew that 2 little house wrens nesting could bring me so much joy. I mean, I could have gone out there if I had the money and the wherewithal and gone on cruises to the Bahamas. Or I could have gone shopping at Tiffany's. Or I could have done this or I could have done that. But I'll tell you something. Having these little house wrens nesting right here, I feel like I'm the luckiest person in the world. I wouldn't miss this for anything. I'm so glad I have a body and that I am in time and space and that I've incarnated here and that I can watch these babies hatch and learn how to fly right here. And the daddy wren, the mama wren, she's in the nest, right? And the daddy wren flies in here and gives her little bugs. And, I mean, this is as good as anything I've ever seen on television, is watching this thing unfold. And so that's what I'm talking about. It's being as little children and being able to see wonder in everything, in every moment, in every situation, and to have the faith of a child and the beginner's mind of a child. So, Mare, are you on? I haven't heard one peep. She may be asleep because she had a big, heavy day. Hit *6 if you're on. She's probably resting. So, Richard, thank you for coming on and reading that. I guess, Elizabeth, I'll turn it back over to you, and maybe Candy is ready. Let's see if she's ready for the update of the news.
Well, stay tuned. Candy, are you there? We're going to do one more thing before you come on.
I forgot. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, let me turn it over to you.
I'm here, but I'm not ready.
You're what?
I'm here when you need me.
Okay, I want you to participate in this too, if you can. So everybody get ready. Put your galactic hats on. We're going to go be with more of our family. We're going to do a little spot of galactizing. All of us, everybody, guys, just participate in this and see what you get. And take a leap of faith and bring on with your voice of what you got. So what I want to do with this galactizing session is we'll have Cynthia get us ready with the three breaths. She'll lead us into it. And then we'll let Cynthia start. And then we'll go, whoever has more of a message, it doesn't have to be on the same line as that. Just use your heart and just relax, have peace, and let our family flow through you and give the message what you got and share with us, because it's all pertinent for all of us. We learn from each other. So, Cynthia, if you could lead us into the 3 breaths, and then I'll have you go in, and it was great how you described who you saw and brought the message. And when Cynthia's done, anybody else, come on in.
Okay, y'all, this is called the 3 perfect breaths, and I learned this decades and decades ago. And we are elders. The people on this call will be called to do wonderful things. But if you can get people to do the 3 perfect breaths before you go into magical rituals, or if you do the 3 perfect breaths before you do a magical ritual, and it can be a cookbook ritual that you learn from somebody else, or it can be one that you just do through divine inspiration. But these are called the 3 perfect breaths, and it's where you breathe into the count of 10, you hold to the count of 10, you breathe out to the count of 10 and hold to the count of 10, and you do it 3 times. And it resets your parasympathetic, sympathetic, and central nervous system. So right now, just take your time. One of the things for beginners who are not used to doing this is just imagine when you breathe into the count of 10 that your lungs go all the way down in your stomach, and pretend that you're filling your stomach with air, because you want to get the air down. You don't want to shallow breathe. You want to breathe deep into your lungs and get the oxygen deep into your lungs. That'd be a good thing to Google and study about breathing deep and breathing shallow and how it fills the lungs and doesn't fill the lungs. So when you're breathing into the count of 10, just pretend that you're filling your stomach with air, and you can feel your stomach go out full of air. Then when you hold to the count of 10, then you breathe out. You breathe all that out and hold to the count of 10. And then you do it again. We do this 3 times. So let's do it now. Start now. Breathe into the count of 10, hold to the count of 10, breathe out to the count of 10, hold to the count of 10 3 times, starting now. We call in the living flame of divine love to be with us now and always. And we call in universal consciousness to be with us now and always. And we now ask each and every person, if you're online now, to join in, and those who listen to this later to also join in on the inner. And go within and ask for clear inner guidance. And if you feel to speak up, do so. Elizabeth, back to you.
Well, I was going to start with you, Cynthia. If you could just look in and see if any galactics have any messages. Go to Cynthia and anybody else that has that will bring a message through.
Okay.
To anybody else. Thank you.
Okay, let me go in. Hold on. They're very pleased with the call. They're delighted. They're excited about future calls. They're all aflutter at the possibilities of future calls. They're all excited about people that they're going to inspire to listen to the recordings. They're saying to me, you have no idea the people that do listen to these calls. And if you did, it would just bring you great joy. Okay, and now there are some galactics coming in. They are rather unusual looking. And they seem to be male, and they seem to be in armor, sort of military. Definitely they're another race, another form. And they don't know English, and they're trying to... okay, let me see. I'm going to have them put the thoughts into my mind in visual images, which is the right brain. Let me see if I can interpret. kind of gibberish right now. Let me see if I can get them. Their way of talking is much faster than ours. So let me see. I'm asking them to please give me visual images and not linear language. Okay, they are. And now I'm trying to interpret what they're showing me. They're saying that the solar plexus area of humanity is being reversed. The spin is being reversed. It'll go one way in males and one way in females, that it has been not going right. And I'm telepathing back to them, well, what does that mean in practical terms? And they're saying that we will start feeling a rush of energy from our midriff section, rushing up through our lungs and up through our neck and up through our head and up above, that we haven't felt before. And I'm saying, okay, well, what does that mean in practical terms? And they're saying that will create an updraft of energy that will be a cause of creating an equal and opposite downdraft of energy from what we would call our higher selves. But they're showing me as a vortex of energy that is like a wormhole going through dimensions that's up above us. And they're amazed that I'm interpreting. They're impressed with me, and it's making me smile from ear to ear. And so I'm saying, so what do I, is this it, or do you want me to say more? Okay, they are coming through more. They're coming through on the heart level now, and they're saying, and these are imperfect English interpretations, by the way, but it's the best I can do right now. They're saying, you have no idea how much we love you. They're saying the love we have for you humans amazes even us. They're saying we don't even know what to do with it. It's so amazing, this love. They're saying that this love that they have for us is transforming and transmuting them. And that because of this love that they feel for us, it's allowing them to go through a process that's similar of water turning into steam. In other words, if you heat water and you get steam, it would be similar to the effect that this love they have for us changing them. And they're saying we have waited for this as a species, and we didn't know it, and that we didn't know it. We didn't know that loving you would lift us up to where we needed to go. And I just see this beautiful sun of light, and they're saying it's enough. So let me turn it back over to someone else.
Okay, beautiful message. Thank you, our galactic brothers and sisters. And we're not done, so anybody that's online that's getting the message, just come on in, take a leap of faith. Don't question yourself, is this me or is it them? If it's in your heart, it's you and them. So bring it on and share it with us. Just *6. Any moderators, anybody listening?
Hello.
Hello.
This is Patty in Spokane, Washington.
Bring it on. Yes.
Hey, Misty stopped by today. How lovely. And right after she was here when my other girlfriend came by. But my other girlfriend brought me for my birthday a 1,500-year-old oil lamp, certified above intensity. It's certified. It's in a frame and everything. And I can feel the healing coming out of that oil lamp. It is just awesome, awesome. It's 1,500 years older. And ever since that's been in my room, I was watching the birds too just now. There was a bunch of ducks and geese flying around out here, so yeah, I feel the spirit. I really do. Thank you.
Thank you, Patty. Beautiful. I've been warm oil. Imagine warm oil. That's the honey oil that runs through us that is turning on our DNA. Thank you. And I think of the story of the 10 virgins, and half were filled with oil. That's Christ consciousness. Thanks for sharing, Patty. Anybody else have anything on their heart that they would want to share? A message coming to you to give to all of us. Come and share.
This is Sunny. What came to me was just letting nature speak to us and letting us look into the very simple beauties unfolding like a flower bud, and even like a flower turning to the white seed like a dandelion, or even something larger like the salsifies in my backyard. And it's just they're just everywhere, and they're this globes of white seeds, and then the wind comes and blows them away. Things like that. This is just what came to me as important to pay attention to. Like Cynthia said about the wonders of simple things like a child notices. Thank you. Sunset too. Yes.
No, go ahead.
I was just saying that sunsets too. Watching the beauties of the sunset colors unfold like a painting. That's all those kind of things are just, they bring us into this sense of joy of creation, the beauties of creation. Gaia speaking to us.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh, you're welcome.
Everybody else, come on, guys. You have things on your heart. Let's just share. All these are beautiful. Anybody else? Well, thank you all, your diamonds, for sharing. That was a beautiful session of galactizing with our brothers and sisters. They're still around. You can feel emotion.
It's me again.
Yes.
I planted 2 more cantaloupes, so now I have 15 cantaloupes planted. And after I got done planting them, I stepped back, and a white butterfly surrounded all of them, just kept flying around them. And I thought, wow, that's soul power. I got to tell you guys about that. That happened today, too. All these miracles are happening today. It's now time.
And I saw a dragonfly the last 2 days. The dragonfly was waiting for me when I got home. He was right on the sidewalk. And I saw him again today. So the dragonfly's wings, there's 4 wings in a dragonfly, and when they're out, you would think they were like round or square, but they were like square, and the middle of the wings were cut out. It was like a geometric shape, wings. I've never seen a dragonfly like that. Beautiful, and then black edges in the wing and a different color. So is there anybody else? Thank you, Pat. Or I called you Pat. Wrong name. I love you, baby. I know you. Oh, so nice, so sweet. Sweet, sweet. There's a sweet, sweet energy. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for helping us. Thank you for loving us. And thank us for loving you. It's all good. It's a honeypot, cornucopia of fruits and veggies and smells and tastes. Lovely, lovely. Look forward to all the surprises as we have no expectations, and as we meditate and dream our dreams, we feel those feelings that we so desire in our heart. So we just ask all the beings, our brothers and sisters, just to We ask for help to help us feel those feelings, the emotions. Help us to put our emotions on top of the list in creating our world and together our world. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Love ya. Mwah. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I'll give you some honey, everybody. Thank you, thank you. Okay, it's time for Candy Shop Candy. Let's see what Candy has to say. What she's got in her candy jar.
There's lots of stuff in the candy jar, but this is just great, Elizabeth, and what a wonderful that the Galactics through Cynthia, affirmed what you've done to show everybody in all dimensions about love and forgiveness, and I just applaud you as well, Elizabeth Diamond. Well, let's see, what kind of treats? It's hard to follow that act. This show tonight has been fabulous. I had another watermelon plant pop up. I just about given up because it was 6 weeks ago or more that I had planted those seeds, but they are finally coming up, and the weather continues to be strange around here in the Ozarks, and all of the bugs are out. But I mixed up a natural remedy for my dog because I asked the Raul Tendar, my guide, if it was safe to give any of these medications from the pet stores to my dogs because of all the fleas and ticks, and I got the resounding answer no. So I Googled it on the internet, and in YouTube they have some good recipes about using apple cider vinegar and Castile soap and cedar oil. And of all things, I had all three on hand, so I mixed up a quart of that and loved on my dog and just covered her in every inch and pulled off 30 ticks, and so I'm hoping she'll be so much happier tomorrow. And I hope you folks can do the natural choices at times with your pets, as well as with yourself and your children. I'm always amazed, for example, at farmers. They will feed the high-quality vitamins and everything to their animals, but when you look at their own children, they look like walking death. It's so sad. Priorities, just because they're going to make money off of the animals. Well, I've had an opportunity to introduce vegetarianism to several more people. My 21-year-old granddaughter, she and her husband has decided, their doctor challenged them to try a vegan diet for 3 months and gave them a video, and they said, wow, so this is what Grandma's been doing all this time. This is Grandma's secret for having so much energy at her age. And so like tonight she said, Grandma, I made a rice and black bean supper tonight, and it was good, and it was vegan, and so.
Oh, that's cute, Candy. Let me share a really quick story. It was so profound, too. I had my grandkids this weekend, and my little Alexis, somehow, and in meditation it said it wasn't by accident, somehow when my first granddaughter was born, my daughter had to go to the hospital for a week, and the kids' dad happened to be in town, so he stayed with her at the hospital because she got an infection after a C-section. And so I bonded with a little baby girl. You lay her on your chest and you feed her every 3 hours or whatever. But anyway, she's seven. She's 7 now, and we're laying in bed this weekend. She slept with me, and she didn't want to go to sleep. Grandma, I don't want you to go to sleep. She wanted to talk. She was getting that talky age, and she wanted to look at me in the eye. And then all of a sudden she went into something like, Grandma, because she's, kids are really, they're observant, and Grandma, I don't want you to get gray hair. Your hair's turning gray a little bit in the middle. And I don't want you to get gray hair and old and wrinkly. I don't want you to die. I said, I'm not going to die. Don't worry. I'm getting younger. I'm not going to die. Don't worry. And she goes, yeah, I thought of that one time, and I thought that I wasn't ever going to die either. I said, you're not. Isn't that beautiful?
It is, Elizabeth. And, of course, I'm using the copper colloidal that Cynthia told me about. So, yeah, my hair's going to turn dark again, and you can prevent your hair from turning dark by using that copper drink. So that's cool, and it's nice. And I've enjoyed having my grandchildren sleep at my home lately too. And like Cynthia says, we need to study the children because the innocent, come to heaven like innocent children, and it's good. We're so fortunate to be able to. I mean, it's so rare. I never met any of my grandmothers, and here I've got to meet not only my grandchildren, but my granddaughter's husband. That's what's really, really neat, that the generations are going on. And so, well, everybody who listens to my show last week heard Mark Sorensen from near Toronto, Canada, and he was speaking about his vision that woke him up in 2007 of seeing the 12 crystal skulls around our Earth and protecting it with the 13th above, and understanding that also related to his past life on Atlantis. And Mark was very warmly received by the Diamond Network audience, and so he's going to be returning this Wednesday. He'll be on the Candy Shop show, and starting an hour later than this show. And I apologize that I made the incorrect announcement last week that Chris was going to be on Saturday show, June 11th. No, it was June 18th, so it's upcoming. Chris Jacobs, he's so busy during this week, but if anyone wants to come in and help us make our show, our special edition Candy Shop show, it's going to be at noon with Elizabeth's help on Saturday, June 18th at this station. So tune in for that or look for it later on YouTube. Talking about the weather, boy, the weather has just been so crazy. Like in London, South London, the roads are turning into rivers. Manchester, England is just flooded. And they're having record heat wave in Alaska. I mean, it's like, Alaska's supposed to be really cold, but as I understand it, it was 32 degrees yesterday, and they thought that was some kind of a record. And so it's very strange as things are happening, and there's signs to be watching. I'm going to experiment. I think that Benjamin Fulford has not yet got his show out today. I can't find it on YouTube, so it must be some really special things going on behind the scenes.
Not yet, and I'll blog it tomorrow, so guys look for it.
Maybe Hillary, is going to be indicted, and of course we're shocked Sunday morning to get up and hear this silly story about the fact that this was this huge terrorist attack since 9/11, and it's in Orlando, Florida, and if some of those people really died, of course it's a very sad thing. But what is just as sad is all the lies from the media about it. I saw a YouTube video with interviewing someone who was there and inside the gay nightclub and got to be interviewed because he was one of the lucky ones and didn't get shot. And he was explaining that there was some man inside the nightclub, and he was holding the door closed so nobody could leave. And as soon as he finished that word, the live interview, they cut the tape. So, wow, the media knows, they don't want any truth out there, and they don't want the truth that it certainly wasn't a lone gunman who did this just because he supposedly got angry by seeing two men kiss each other and express affection a few weeks earlier. They were talking about how he had been arrested and interrogated by the cops, and my friend was listening to that with me, and he says, yeah, he was arrested by the cops so he could be brainwashed to participate in this false flag. So, I don't know, the cabal is just really desperate as to all the kinds of things and how they're trying to bring our energy down. And
Candy,
we're going to keep it up.
Yes, let me just add two things to that. When you guys hear these stories, this is what's going on with me. I just want to help everybody. Do a paradigm shift inside yourself. Death is swallowed up in victory. Somebody made up the word death, and that's what we believe because we've been programmed. But it's not really death. Death is swallowed up in victory. So when anybody dies, yes, it's sad for us because we lose them on this earth plane, but they don't really die. They just go to a different dimension or plane. So they're still living. They're just somewhere different, and we miss them, yes. And also what Cynthia said was profound tonight, that they're actually doing more of these false flags. They literally hire people and actors and tell them it's a drill, and but then they put it out to us it's not, because we're not creating that now. So make sure you think of those two things when you hear these stories. And thanks for, catching us up with the news or whatever, Candy. Go forward.
Yes, I think the Diamond Network audience understands that death is not the end, or death is not death, that our personality survives. And what I'm saying is it's sad for those that are left behind. I think that people are really joyous at what they find in the hereafter, and even though it's sudden at times, it can still become very much joyous. And just like we know that the Galactics beamed the members of Challenger out of Challenger before they'd exploded, so that their souls were not destroyed in that kind of explosion, and they're living where they need to be living. So it's just a wonderful world, and we've just been brainwashed so much. I don't know.
Let me give you one more, Candy, which is profound. Birthdays. We celebrate our birthday because we're a year older. No. Do a paradigm shift. When your birthday comes along, you got to change the programming. Don't think that you're getting older, but celebrate. If you're going to celebrate your birthday, celebrate it that you're living life and life abundantly. You know what I mean? Isn't that cool?
Okay.
It is, Elizabeth. I mean, the point of the birthdays to me is that we celebrate ourselves and that we love ourselves, and that the others around us are honoring us as who we are, and that it's finally, it's our day, and so we're so encouraged to go to jobs that we hate and do all kinds of things, but we don't have enough joy in our life, and that's what the value of birthdays are that we can have some joy. And we can, with the relationships of our loved ones. That's what it should be about. Well,
my darling Diamonds, yesterday was my birthday, and I turned 11.
Happy birthday, 11-year-old. Happy birthday.
11. 6 plus 5 is 11.
We'll send you a diamond in the etheric realm to shine in your house all year long.
I was shining too. I went out to the Indian reservation. It was so beautiful.
Beautiful.
Well, thank you for sharing. Listen,
Yes.
I'm gonna end with a quick commercial if Elizabeth doesn't mind, and so get your pencil and paper ready. And folks, I hope you'll be saying the Law of One for Missouri this Saturday. Some of our one of our fans from the show here will not be able to join the program with Chris Jacobs because on Saturday in Sedalia, Missouri, the state Democratic Convention will be taking place, and our Diamond friend is going to be there as a delegate for Bernie Sanders, and so may our intentions be that there is some harmony among the Democrats and among the Bernie group, and that they are fairly treated, so that the issues they feel that are uplifting mankind can get on their platform, and that it can be a great experience there in Sedalia, Missouri this Saturday. So we are continuing here at Ozark Dawn with some amazing people coming into our world. We have a visitor come for 10 days from California, and he's one of the people that I've been able to introduce the vegetarian diet to, and he's just really got a good heart and attitude about learning and being open-minded and all kinds of things, and I'm going to be introducing the Diamond Network to him. So this is just really great, and so and it's so interesting with folks here from 3 or 4 or 5 decades, that here at Ozark Dawn Intentional Community we've got all of the ages and different kinds of backgrounds mixing together. It's quite interesting. And what I did today is I went out on faith, and I've got printed up these beautiful magical wards to protect us, and I would like to offer them for a small donation, like $5 or so. And these are the wards, magical wards of our beautiful Law of One, but written in the galactic languages, and so it's so we know that the Draco and the Archons and the Reptilians and others have accepted the Law of One as a group, but sometimes there's a few individual renegades, and it's good for us to keep putting protection around our homes and places. And so I'm sending a package of 4 of these that were translated and designed by Christopher Stephen Jacobs, and with his blessings, I'm sending these out. And so they have the Law of One in the language of the Draco, the Archons, and the Reptilians. So my address is keytotruth@yahoo.com, and if you would like to get a small package of these, 4 of them, for $5, that's what you do. You write me at keytotruth.com, and some of you have already ordered them, and I'll be putting more in the mail tomorrow. And so let's just be optimistic and joyous and feel warm in our protection. So I'm putting the lid back on the candy jar and turn it over to you, dear Elizabeth.
Thanks, Candy, the candy jar. Thank you so much. And if you guys want to call me at any time, anything, just to say hi, my number again is 763-670-9120, 763-670-9120. Yay! I get lonely sometimes, so somebody call me once in a while, okay, guys? Anyway,
And would you like for me to send you this package as a gift, Elizabeth, or do you have plenty of your wards, or would you like these for more?
Well, save it for me, because I don't have an address yet. The last 3 times I've moved, I haven't changed my address yet, but I will soon.
I'll save them for you. Okay.
Okay.
Love you.
Love you too. And look forward to Saturday, you guys. Chris and me and Candy will be on Saturday at 12 noon. We'll do a special show. So let's just take another time out. Anybody want to come in with questions, comments, anything you want to share with us? Otherwise, we'll be done for the night. Just *6. Cynthia, anything else you want to say? Or Mayor, if you made it back? Well, you diamonds, I love you all. And I have an assignment for you guys. Let's think emotion. Let's, as you're thinking during the day and you think of Diamonds Network and you think all the people that are here on live and that listen, think of the emotion surprise. Surprises abound. Think of that emotion and put that into Diamonds Network and into your life and into your family's life. Surprises abound. We all like surprises. So, love you. Keep shining, and we'll see you tomorrow on Voices from the Alternative World. Wednesday, the Candy Shop Show. Thursday, Misty Lynn, We Are the Solution. And surprises there, too. Love ya. Have a great night. Bye-bye.
Night.
Are you looking for healing or a change in your life to help you enjoy it more fully? You might benefit from a galactic energy reading and clearing from Chris Jacobs. Chris will work with you on a soul level to clear unseen negative influences, implants, programs, contracts, and energetic blocks. Chris Jacobs is a gifted energy healer. Contact him today at ChristopherStephenJacobs@gmail.com.